wind howled outside the frosted windows of the orphanage. The night everything changed, but inside, under the weak glow of a flickering lamp, a little girl named Emily sat hunched over an old wooden desk, writing a letter with hands that trembled from both cold and hope. It was the kind of night where the world felt impossibly big, where loneliness echoed louder than the winter storms, and where silent wishes carried more weight than spoken words. Emily pressed her small hand over her heart before sealing the envelope, whispering as if the universe might hear her, "Dear Santa, please send me a dad." That letter, meant only for the North Pole, would somehow take a miraculous detour and land on the polished mahogany desk of a billionaire who had forgotten what it meant to be loved. If you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support truly helps keep these heart-touching stories alive. Emily had never known her parents, and the truth had weighed on her shoulders ever since she was old enough to understand the way the caretakers sighed when they spoke about her past. The other children wished for toys, gadgets, or warm clothes, but Emily's wish had always remained painfully simple. She didn't want gifts. She wanted someone who would hold her hand when thunderstorms shook the sky, someone who would tell her she was safe, someone who would claim her as their own. Every Christmas, Emily wrote a letter to Santa, and every Christmas it was lost in the sea of charity mail, until this year, when fate stepped in with quiet, unexpected determination. Miles away, in a penthouse high above the city lights, Lucas Hart, a billionaire known for his business empire and icy public persona, sat alone in an office built from glass and silence. His world had once been filled with laughter, warmth, and family, but losing his fiancée in a tragic accident years ago had carved a hollow space in him that no amount of money could fill. He threw himself into work, burying memories beneath deals, numbers, and bottom lines. Christmas had become nothing more than a date on a calendar, a reminder of everything he no longer had. But on this particular morning, his assistant accidentally placed a stack of charitable holiday letters on his desk, mixed with documents requiring his signature. Lucas skimmed through without much care, until one short, simply written note made him pause. The handwriting was shaky, the ink slightly smudged, but the words carried a weight that pulled at the frozen corners of his heart. "Dear Santa, please send me a dad. I promise I'll be good. I just don't want to be alone anymore." For the first time in years, Lucas felt something stir inside him. He reread the letter, and with each line, the walls he had built around himself cracked a little more. The innocence, the yearning, the heartbreaking sincerity. It was a plea from a child who had never known what being loved felt like, and for reasons he couldn't explain, he couldn't walk away from it. The following day, Lucas visited the orphanage under the guise of a holiday donation, but he was secretly searching for the girl behind the letter. He found Emily sitting alone on the cold steps, holding a threadbare stuffed bunny, humming softly to distract herself from the emptiness she had grown used to. She looked smaller than he imagined, as if life had carved away pieces of her and left her too fragile for a world so unforgiving. Yet, in her eyes, there was a spark, tiny, flickering but alive. He approached slowly, unsure of what he would even say, but the moment Emily looked up, something in him shifted. Her eyes widened with a mixture of surprise and hope, and in that fragile connection, Lucas felt the quiet click of destiny settling into place. From that day on, Lucas visited often, bringing books, warm meals, or sometimes nothing at all except his presence, which Emily came to cherish more than any gift. She began to smile more, laugh more, and believe that maybe, just maybe, she was worth loving. Lucas found himself looking forward to every visit, feeling alive in a way he hadn't since losing the woman he once thought he'd build a family with. Still, doubt lingered. He questioned whether he deserved a second chance at happiness, or whether he was capable of being someone's father. Emily, in her innocent honesty, eased his fears without even realizing it. One afternoon, after losing her stuffed bunny, she cried quietly until Lucas found it and returned it to her. She hugged it tightly and whispered something he would remember forever: "You always find me." Those words broke him open in a way nothing else could. That night, Lucas sat alone again, but not in loneliness, in clarity. Emily didn't need perfection. She needed someone who wouldn't leave. On Christmas Eve, with snow settling gently over the silent city, Lucas returned to the orphanage with adoption papers in his hands and a heart no longer hollow. Emily had fallen asleep under the twinkling lights of the small Christmas tree, her letter to Santa tucked carefully beneath the ornament she made from old paper. He knelt beside her and whispered softly, not to wake her but to promise her. Promise her a home, promise her love, promise her that her wish had finally reached the right person. The next morning, when Emily opened her eyes, she found Lucas waiting for her with a warmth she had never seen in his usually solemn expression. In that moment, the world shifted. The caretaker explained the adoption, and Emily's small hands trembled as she reached for Lucas, tears streaming down her cheeks, not of sorrow, but of the overwhelming joy she had never believed she could feel. He held her close, and in that embrace both their broken hearts began to heal. And so, a lonely billionaire who thought he had lost everything gained the one thing money could never buy, a daughter, and a little girl who had prayed for a dad. Finally found a home where she would never be alone again. Together, they built a life stitched with laughter, healing, and second chances. It wasn't perfect, but it was theirs, and it was enough. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Stories like this reach more people because of your love. Before you go, comment "Believe in miracles" if this story moved you in any way.